Is someone else in here?
Yeah,
Oh, Fernando.
Fernanda just arrived. Hey, Fernanda and Sam, can you guys both, as long as it's quiet where you are, can you guys both keep your microphones unmuted so that we can have like a conversation so I don't have to constantly wait? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, possum. All right, I'm recording. I'm recording for you guys. I'm probably going to end up recording you basically every time because my first period people, like their microphones don't work very well. And so there's no like interaction at all. So it's not, or sixth period I meant. All right. Okay, so you should have done something like this on your last board where you had all the countries with the explanations on the last one. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And it ends up being a version of this, right? This is the alliance system of World War I. So let's start the actual war, shall we? All right, so big number, I think this is going to be B, C, is that right?
The chart wasn't a letter.
Yeah, the chart is a letter, yeah.
Oh. Then I guess B.
Sure, we'll go with that. All right, so big number B. Big number B stands for the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. All right, so the Archduke Ferdinand is the, he's the crown prince of Austria-Hungary. What does it mean to be the crown prince?
Were you married in?
No, it means that he's going to be the next king. So he's next in line to become the king, right? So he's the crown prince of Austria. His official title is Archduke Ferdinand. And he is traveling around the Austrian Empire in order to promote the royal family. Okay, now look on the chart that we did. What can you tell me about the Austrian Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire?
They're on the Triple Alliance.
Okay, so they're part of the Triple Alliance. Okay, what else?
They hate the Russians.
They hate the Russians. Good. What else?
There's many rebellions.
Yeah.
They're old.
It's the old empire. It's an old empire and it's falling apart, right? Is this a pretty stable place?
No.
Right. Spoiler, I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. Austria won't exist at the end of the war. Austria-Hungary won't exist at the end of the war, right? So one of these areas of rebellion is Serbia, okay? Serbia is trying to break away from the Austrian Empire, and the Serbians basically hate the Austrians. So Archduke Ferdinand is coming to the city of Sarajevo, right here. The city of Sarajevo, and it is, today, it's the capital of Bosnia-Herzegovina, right? But back then it was Serbian territory, okay? So Sarajevo. And the Archduke is coming here visiting Sarajevo, and Sarajevo is a very hostile city. They do not want to be part of the Austrian Empire. They want out, okay? Also in Sarajevo this day is a man named Gavrilo Princip. And Gavrilo Princip is a member of an organization called the Black Hand. This is Gavrilo down here. The guy looking at you with the smoky eyes. Okay, so Gavrilo Princip is a member of an organization called the Black Hand. And the Black Hand is a terrorist group that are trying to break away. They're like a Serbian nationalist group that is trying to break away. Okay, all right, so the Black Hand decides that they want to kill the Archduke. They hate this dude, they want to kill him. Okay, the Archduke is driving around in this brand new invention. You guys may not have heard of it. It's called an automobile, right? And it's kind of like, I know the name sounds confusing, but let me tell you here, right? It's kind of like a horse-drawn carriage, but it produces less poop, right? Because there is no horse, you see. The thing is that it has an engine in it and it runs on gasoline, and you turn it on and you can drive. You got to be really careful. These things can go super fast. These things can get up to like 15 miles an hour. So you got to be real careful, right? You got to be real careful. We're not 100% sure if God can watch you that fast. So you need to be really careful, okay? So this is this brand new invention, and he's driving the automobile around. I'm exaggerating slightly, but there aren't very many automobiles, right? This is a pretty poor area. There's not very many. And he's driving through the city, and he and his wife, sitting right here, they're sitting on the back, they're sitting like up on the top right? Like waving to the crowds and stuff as they're like driving slow through the city. 6 Black Hand people are going to join the assassination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here's how the assassination goes. 2 chicken out and go home. Wah, wah. This leaves us with 4 assassins left. The first assassin sees the Archduke there and he yells out, "Death to Austria, long live Serbia!" And he throws a grenade at the car. He forgot to pull the pin out of the grenade. The grenade bounces off the hood of the car and into the canal. Wah, 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 into the canal. So the next guy comes out. We got 4 guys. This guy runs away. First guy runs away. The second guy runs out. He's not stupid. He knows you got to pull the pin, right? He's not a dummy, right? So he says, "Death to Austria, long live Serbia, death to Austria." And he takes the pin out of the grenade and he rolls it on the ground, and it rolls and rolls and rolls underneath the car, past the car, and blows up behind the car. Wah, wah. The next guy, and then he pulls out his gun and he tries to shoot the Archduke and he just misses. He just shoots off into the air, right? And then the Archduke's bodyguards take him out. At which point the last 2 guys turn and go home. Okay, so if you guys were in charge of the Archduke's security, if you're like the Secret Service for the Archduke, what would you do right now?
Probably just like tell them, let's not have public meetings outside for a while, or maybe let's break up the empire.
That's not your job, but the no meetings outside is probably a pretty good idea, right? Maybe you don't drive a slow car sitting on the back of it through a hostile city with 3 people who just tried to assassinate you. Maybe you don't do that, right? Well, his security guy says, "Archduke, we got to go home," right? He's like, "We got to go." And the Archduke says, "No, no, no. The threat is past. I must go see my people. The people, it's important that they see me. They need to see I'm strong." And the security guy is like, "Dude, I don't think that's a good idea." But the Archduke says, "Nope, we must go." So he gets back on his car. Like an hour or so has passed. He gets back on his car and he starts to go again. Now Gavrilo is sitting in a cafe drinking coffee, and he's like, "Oh, I should have done it. I chickened out." He's like hating himself because he chickened out, right? And he's walking out, and he says, next time I see that Archduke, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm not going to chicken out next time." He walks out of the cafe and he starts to walk home, and driving down the street, coming right towards him is
Archduke.
Of course it is. The Archduke is driving right at Gavrilo, and he looks and he says, "Wow, that dude looks a lot like the Archduke." And he's like, "Holy crap, that is the Archduke." Gavrilo sees his opportunity. He pulls out his gun and he says, "Death to Austria, long live Serbia." Blam, 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 blam. Kills the Archduke. Shoots the Archduke's wife and kills the Archduke. Gavrilo then drops the gun like a gangster and just lets himself be arrested. Right? They arrest him. They throw him in jail. They ask him later on, like people are asking him, they said, "Do you regret what you did?" And he says, "No, I did not." He said, "Do you have anything to say to the Austrian people? Do you want to apologize for what you did?" And he says, "I do have a message for the Austrian people. I do apologize for shooting the Archduke's wife. I hear she was a nice lady." And then the reporter's like, "Well, are you going to apologize for shooting the Archduke?" And he says, "No, that's who I was aiming for. Yeah, that's right. That dude had to go." All right. Now, back to our alliance system. Austria is going to be really upset with Serbia. Who's going to come to Serbia's defense?
Russia.
There we go. Big mama bear Russia says, "You cannot attack my child. If you attack bear cub, you get mama bear Russia," right? Austria says, "Russia, we're not scared of you because we got our big brother Germany." And Germany's like, "Oh, hell yeah, we can take you, Russia." Russia says, "Oh yeah? Well, if you go attack me, you also have," who's on Russia's side?
UK.
UK. France,
France.
right? And then they also have who else does Austria and Germany have on their side?
The Roman Empire.
Ottoman Empire.
Ottoman Empire, which
and kind of Italy.
Which, yeah. And then Italy is just happy to be invited. Yeah. Ottoman Empire is what country today?
Turkey.
Turkey. Yeah, mostly it's Turkey. All right. We're off to the races. The war breaks out. The war breaks out. We have detail in here we don't need. When I teach AP European history, we go into a lot of detail here. Germany invades. Germany invades right off the bat. Germany has a brilliant plan that's guaranteed to succeed. Yes, Sam?
Is this a new letter?
Yeah, let's make this a new letter. We're going to call this the outbreak of the war. And I want you to put in here Germany's super perfect plan that is guaranteed to succeed. Or no, let's say guaranteed. Yeah, it's guaranteed not to fail. That's better. Yeah, it's super perfect plan that's guaranteed not to fail. Okay, the official name is called the Schlieffen Plan right here. It's named after the guy named Schlieffen, but I like my name better. It's the guaranteed perfect plan that's guaranteed not to fail, right? Perfect plan that's guaranteed not to fail. Germany has a brilliant plan. What I want you to do is in your notes, make 2 columns, put a line down the middle, right? On the left side, we're going to say reasons why this plan will succeed. Let's go down there. We have 4 plans. We have 4 big deals. Okay, so first, plan number 1. Germany is going to not attack France here, like France is expecting, right? This is where Germany and France are touching. Germany is going to be super sneaky about it. They're going to attack here just a little bit to distract France, but then they're going to go through Belgium into France, right? So plan number 1 is go through Belgium. Now this is totally going to work, 100% going to work, because the Belgians love Germany and they're going to welcome Germany. Totally good plan. It's absolutely going to work. You need to put Belgians, it's going to work because the Belgians will welcome us. Welcome the Germans. Okay, plan number 2. Plan number 2, take out France before Russia can get mobilized. You got to knock out France before Russia can get mobilized. The Germans estimate that it takes the Russians 3 months to move their troops to the front. So you got 3 months, 3 months before the Russians are ready, right? Because Russia's so big, right? They got troops everywhere. You got to get those troops coming in from all over the place, right? So Russia's huge. So you got 3 months. If you can knock out France in those 3 months, not a problem, all right? So number 1, go through Belgium. They're going to welcome us. It's going to work out perfectly. Number 2, knock out France before Russia gets there, okay? Number 3, England won't join. England won't join because England doesn't want to get involved in wars. England mostly just stays out of wars in Europe, so they're not going to join. Okay, now we're going to go those 3. Now on the other column, I want you to label it reasons why the plan failed. Reasons why the plan failed, and then in parentheses put sad trumpet noise. Wah, wah. Okay. Okay. So what was plan number 1?
Go through Belgium.
Right? And why is that going to work?
Because they're going to
Because
welcome.
Belgium loves Germany.
All right. So the reason why it failed is Belgium resists. And as it turns out, Belgium hates Germany. Womp womp. Right? Belgium resists. As soon as Germany starts to attack, Belgium is like teeny tiny little Belgium, right? They don't have a lot of power. What they do is they blow up all of their own railroad tracks. They're like, oh, the Germans are coming. Boom. They just blow themselves up. Okay? The Belgians just blow up all their own tracks. This means that in order for the Germans to bring all their stuff in, they have to build railroad tracks as they go. Okay? Here's the other thing. So Belgians blow up their own railroad tracks. The next thing they do is they blow up the dikes and flood their own cities. So parts of Belgium are underwater, right? Are under sea level, and you have dikes that are holding back the ocean, right? So you have water up here and you have land down here. They just blow up the dike and flood the city. The Belgians are like, we would rather flood our own city than let the Germans have it. This really screws the Germans up because they start to slow down. As it turns out, countries don't like to be invaded. Shocking.
Wow.
Shocking, huh? I know. I don't know who could have figured that out, as it turns out. Yeah. All right. What's plan number 2?
Take out France before
Take out France.
Before what?
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah. All right. So here's the problem number 1. It fails, number 1, because France is way tougher than Germany thought it was. The Germans thought that they were going to take out France in 2 weeks. France holds on for 6 years. Wah, wah. Here's the other problem. How long does it take the Russians to move their troops, to mobilize?
3 months.
3 months. That's why the Russians started 4 months ago. The Russians were already, the Russians were already mobilized. That's the other part of this. The Russians were already mobilized. The Germans were expecting that the Russians weren't going to attack for 3 months. The Russians attacked the next day. Wah, wah. All right, what's plan number 3?
England.
Join?
England won't join. Here's the problem. England joins. Okay, so Wilhelm, Kaiser Wilhelm, he's the leader of Germany. He is cousins with the King of England, right? It's his cousin. And King Edward, right? And he believes that King Edward won't attack, right? He's like, my cousin won't attack me. Well, as it turns out, A, the king in England has no power, so he's not in charge. And B, he kind of hates his cousin. So even if he was in charge, he would still attack anyway. Yeah. So England, Germany's expecting England to never get involved. England has troops in France within about a month. We can see that very, very early, this war is going to become a much, much longer war than we were expecting. The Germans were expecting a war that was going to be over in just a couple of weeks, and it's going to turn out to be the war to end all wars, the largest war the world has ever seen at this point. Okay? The only war bigger is going to be World War II. All right. How much time do we got?
Like 9 minutes.
Okay, let's go to the next letter real quick. Do we want to do this or not? Okay, I'm not going to do this today because it's better if I can spend some time on it and like tell it in a way that's like really interesting, right? So I think we're going to just stop it today because I can do it in 9 minutes, but I can't do it in a nice, interesting way in 9 minutes. Fair enough?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing this. I think we're good for today. Let me stop recording.